everyone, I'm Marie Lockwood and this is Kate's Cooking and More. Today's episode is about setting our table for when visits or company is coming for holidays, special deals, or just, everyday meals. So this is the tea set that I told you guys about before. Now you can see that there are several pieces. One is just a bell. One is a creamer bowl for when you're serving coffee. This one is for tea. This is a milk bowl. This is actually a waste bowl. When you're serving tea, usually you use the tea bags, and this is just somewhere to put them. This piece is for the sugar squares. And of course we have a small pair of tongs for that, and a spoon for those people who are wanting to use the waste bowl. You would normally squeeze the tea bag against the spoon and then put it in. Now, not everyone does that. The English, I believe, say that it makes the tea bitter. Just depends, I guess, on which kind of tea you're using. I haven't ever actually tried different ones to see whether or not the taste is different. Okay, so this would normally be brought to the table after dinner for coffee or tea, and depending on what I'm serving. If I'm not serving any tea, I would take it off of the plate, but it really just depends. Now, since I have two bowls, like I said, one's for coffee, one's for milk. Some people like milk in their tea. Some people like half and half. My future in-laws actually prefer half and half, while Jeff and I prefer coffee creamer. So I have both just in case. Now, this would be the crystal bowl that we found, or dome, for a cheese ball. And of course, my snacks would be in here because my dining room's not quite big enough for the before dinner snacks. So I set everything up in here to begin with. So this would be my cheese ball or small breads depending on what I'm doing, sometimes cake. This one will be for either a small cheese bowl or it's actually for homemade butter. And I sometimes make butter, but not very often. It's a lot of work. This one would be my serving tray for cheese, crackers, little bits of meat, olives, black olives, pickles. It's just a little snack tray for people to eat on until we're ready to go to the dining room table. Now at this point, I will show you the dining room table. Okay, so these are different sections of my dining room. This is a sideboard. Now, this one is if you're doing buffet style serving, which actually works better because there just never seems to be enough room on the dinner table for all of your items. So this would have my meat on it, usually ham, turkey, whatever, and we do carve that before we bring it in. This one, if you can tell, is a heated dish. So usually this has like green bean casserole because I like to keep that warm. It's better served warm. This is our new candle stand that we bought. And I don't have a candle for it yet because I'm actually having a little bit of trouble finding the right size. This one is a casserole server, and it's actually great for my cheesy hash browns, and I'll put a link in the description for anybody that wants to try that. This one is a soup tureen, and that would be if I was serving a soup with dinner. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. This one is our new dish that we got, that we have cleaned up. And this would normally have something like my mashed potatoes in it. Now this would be the sideboard set up, and of course these pieces are actually treated with a special mat that is heat resistant. So I can put hot dishes directly on top of this, and when I close the two leaves up, it just has my tea service set out for a nice look in my dining room when we're not using it. Okay, so this is my dining room table, and of course I've already got it set up for dinner. Now, for those of you who don't know, these are actually bread plates. It would be like the dinner rolls that you serve with dinner. And then, of course, we have our plates and our napkins. Now, you can fold your napkins in the special little animal shapes and things like that. I don't do it because the kids have the most awful time trying to get those open. So I just fold them and put them on top. Now, these glasses are actually crystal. The small ones for the kids are actually glass. I managed to find actually sets that matched, which was nice, but this way if the kids break one, I'm not totally upset. Now I also have here a set of silver salt and pepper shakers with a second set at the other end. I got lucky and found two sets. Now for an everyday dinner, I have a candlestick in the middle. Now, if it was Christmas, I have special centerpieces that I use. So it really just depends on what the holiday is. Now this piece, I talked about when we were out shopping because I had found a giant one. This one is mine, it's much smaller. You have a salt and pepper shaker, and then this little one would actually have things like sugar in it. And it actually has a tiny, tiny little spoon that goes with it to scoop out sugar. And then here we have our oils. Now, as I said, mine has a lid missing, and I'm still looking for an identical lid. I do suggest when you're antique shopping, once you've picked a set, that you take really good pictures of details and items so that you know that you're getting a matching set. Now, these would normally have oils in them. This is great if I am serving a salad with dinner because my salad dressings can actually go in here. I really like the raspberry vinaigrettes. Some people do, some people don't. Now over here I also have 2 regular candlesticks. Now this is set up as if I'm doing an anniversary dinner, a birthday dinner, or just the in-laws are coming over for dinner and I want it to look nicer. This is a butter dish. And it would normally have a stick of butter in it for the bread rolls. Now, if I am having a larger dinner, as you can see right now what I have is a dinner plate for the buffet and then my bread dish. But the rest of the set that we have comes with a teacup set and then a salad plate. Now, we don't actually have the soup bowls to our set. Or no, we do. These are actually the soup bowls. So it really depends on what you're serving. Now, if you were serving soup, it would go on your plate like this. If you are serving soup and a salad, you would serve it like this. And of course, your teacup would go to the side. And depending on if you're doing buffet style, or if you're doing service, you would probably want a rolling cart for service. Now I usually do buffet style because it's a little bit easier. My dining room's not giant, so it gets a little crowded if I try to squeeze too many things in here at once. And of course I have things like gravy boats. It just depends on what I'm serving. Now these dishes I really like, and Jeff had these before we got together. So these aren't something that I actually picked out, but they were very much to my taste, so I was quite happy with them. These are made by Noritake in a porcelain with a platinum ring. And so they look really great with the silver on the table, and they go well with my crystal glasses. So I'm quite happy with them, even though, you know, I didn't actually pick them out. They match exactly with my taste. And of course the dining room table and the other furniture, Jeff actually had when we got together. Now these are some items that we found when we were out shopping for antiques. You can see that there are quite nice little decanters. Some of them are crystal, the top 2 are, and the rest are glass. We had hoped to find all crystal, but of course those get very hard to find. Now I'm going to lower the camera. You can see here on this shelf, it's just a bowl for after dinner mints. And on this shelf, we have another decanter and a bourbon glass set with a ice bucket. Now the shelf itself, we also found at an antique shop and cleaned it up, and it came out quite well. Now the last pieces I want to show you are actually artwork that was done by my future father-in-law. He is an excellent artist, and these are pen and inks. So this is actually drawn on there. Now this is one of his pieces, and I'm going to show you a couple of other ones. Now this is another item that's also in my dining room that is one of his pen and inks. And this is the last pen and ink in my dining room that my future father-in-law did. Now, as you can see, the table looks wonderful with the silver pieces. They really offset with the crystal and the plates with the platinum ring. Now, of course, you have to go with whichever items, particularly, talk to you. Some people prefer the gold. I like the platinum just because it's very shiny. When I clean up the silver, it looks really nice. And so it really just depends on what you like. Okay, so that is it for our show today. I hope that you enjoyed the look, and I hope that you really enjoyed the video that we did while traveling and cleaning up our pieces. Now, like I said before, there's a lot of elbow grease involved in doing this way. So if you prefer not to, of course you can always go with store-bought items, and they stay clean a little bit longer. But you can see that they come out really well. And really all I had to do to get all of my pieces that I had bought previously cleaned up was rinse them lightly, quickly in the Tarnex. Now, fair warning, the reason I say that you need to clean your silver the day beforehand, besides the fact that it takes forever, your house will stink. That stuff smells awful. You need like a day to air it out. But you get to enjoy something that comes out really, really beautiful, shiny, and it looks really expensive when it's really not. So I know that some of you are probably interested in about what things run. So the tray itself is a very heavy-duty tray. It's a pretty expensive one, and I paid like $35 for it. So I got a really good deal. The spoon was $2. The tongs were $5. Each of these pieces were about $5. Now, I think I paid $10 for the teapot, and I think I paid $15 for the coffee pot. Some of the other items that you saw, the large casserole dish, I think I paid $25 for that. But, you know, like I said, if it has the glass included, it has the lid, it's footed, and it's a nice piece in good shape without a lot of scratches, dings, damage, rust, things that you can't fix, it's actually really worth it. You can see how much the room kind of glows. They come out really shiny and pretty, and so I think that it's worth it. The piece that is the heated dish that I showed you earlier for when you're serving something that needs to be kept heated, like when I do green bean casserole, I think I paid $15 for it, and it came with the glass piece. Now, those glass pieces, you can sometimes put a new one in. What you want to do is you want to look at Pyrex pieces. Pyrex is oven safe. Those pieces are very nice because I can take the dish directly from the oven and go put it in there directly into the service piece. I'm not damaging anything. The heat doesn't do any damage because I have the heated table. If you don't, you can buy things called trivets. Trivets are sometimes the new silicone, and sometimes they're metal. You can even find cast iron ones. And they're just to put your hot plates on so that they don't damage your furniture. I'm sure all of you have had an experience at some point or another where you put something hot down and you end up with a burn mark. Luckily, I don't have that problem because I have that piece, but that is one of the reasons why I like the serving dishes with the feet. Now this one, I think, came out looking really, really well. And of course, it has the feet that I like. So it really just depends on, like I said, your taste, what you like, what look you like. My tastes tend to run a little old-fashioned. The silver pieces, you know, they go from a little before the Victorian age until around, I think the Great Depression is when they kind of died off. They definitely died off after like the 50s. When women started working outside the home and people could not afford to have someone come into your house and do all the cleaning for you, they started to die off. The main reason was they're a lot of work. So, I mean, like I told you, I do have to clean these every time I'm ready to use them. But after the initial cleaning, they usually don't get dirty enough that I have to do massive cleaning. Usually I can just rinse them in the Tarnex, wipe them with the silver polish, and they're good to go. And they will stay beautiful looking for a few weeks before they start to yellow again, and then they start to get a little black spots. The tarnish is something that, so far I have found nothing that stops that from happening. It's unfortunate, but I still think it's worth it. So I hope you enjoyed our show today. I'm Marie Lockwood. This is Cakes Cooking and More. Have a great day.